one look in America's streets and you'll find one vehicle more than anything else in history. The SUV, or Sport Utility Vehicle, is taking this nation by storm. And I can't understand why, and I'm not a minority there among automotive enthusiasts, so I thought, in a bit of education to figure out what we're dealing with here in this new type of vehicular warfare, I would go through the history of the SUV. And we start here with the Yosemite Rancher, the predecessor to the current Rancher. And this thing was actually really good. I mean, sure, this is the two-door pickup truck version, but they came in four-door variants. It had back ends with covers on it. It had a ton of options, and while sure it has a Dominator Source V8 under the hood, and was designed by the same people as the Dominator, it was quite a bit different in the off-roading department. This thing has full all-wheel drive, knobby off-road tires, a lift kit on it from the factory. Whoa! Pouncy 60s off-road suspension is a riot on these planes. Well, sort of planes. But it's actually really good. It's very comfortable off here. It has that V8 gives it just enough power to absolutely rip it down here at serious speed. And then we have a foot of suspension travel. I mean, this thing, it won the Baja 1000 for a reason here, people. This is no slouch. Oh. I mean, it practically wheelies. I love this thing very much. So, the first real take on an SUV was absolutely phenomenal. It was fast off-road, it was comfortable, it wasn't too expensive. It was all in all a very, very good vehicle. However, this was still in the infancy of the SUV trend. We had to fast forward quite a bit to the 1970s, early 80s, when the public had two options to choose from. Option one was this. This is one of the first ever hatchbacks, hot hatchbacks I should say. This thing is a riot. It's called the Club, and it is frankly brilliant. It doesn't have the most power, it's 120, it's front-wheel drive, super skinny tires, but it weighs just 2,500 pounds. The thing is a little go-kart. It is just so much fun to chuck about. In fact, it's so fun to chuck about, you can even mess around with it in one of these. Whee! I am skateboarding with a hot hatch. In fact, the hot hatch. This might just be the most famous hot hatch of all time! And it is a riot, even nowadays, with the super hot hatches and the performance cars that cost less than this. They will be faster. But nothing has the same impact as the original BF. It is a brilliant, brilliant machine, and it costs the same, if not less, than an SUV. However, the alternative is what the public went for. In the form of this. The Seminole. The Seminole back then was a lot different than it was today. It has full four-wheel drive, it has proper push bars, It has ground clearance that can actually, go over stuff, and critically, it has nice, lovely off-road tires and off-road suspension, which means, yes, this is an SUV, but look at this. I've driven down this river a few times, but never in this much comfort. I mean, I barely felt that because the suspension is working overtime, and the all-wheel drive is simple, but very, very rewarding, very easy to use, and you can cross rivers, go through water. It doesn't really matter because the vehicle can take it. This is a proper off-roader. That's a bit of water, nice and easy. No problem at all. It's barely an inconvenience. Something can go to the headlights. I mean, it's a proper off-road, and yet, not only am I in comfort with air conditioning and nice leather seats and everything, but I have seating for 5, comfortably 5, and say with storage space in the back. You could easily take this to your local grocery store, even if that grocery store was in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. I mean, this is a proper off-road. This is exactly what the SUV is meant to be. Practical, family-friendly, and yet it can do, Jesus Christ. It can do that. I mean, if you did that in any other SUV today, it would have drowned, and I would be very disappointed, and I might lose my privileges with that company. But this thing, though, this thing is simply astonishing. It's like a Mesa, but with more seats and better luxury. And, doesn't roll over quite as much. This thing is still quite prone, but all in all, it's a fantastic vehicle. However, by the time the 2000s rolled around, SUVs weren't enough for people. Which means it was time to make the SUV faster. And this is really the vehicle that started it all, the Baller from Galanter. Galanter? I don't know. Either way, supercharged V8, all-wheel drive, 0 to 60, under 6 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for 2010, with, this much weight, it was fantastically quick, and it had low-profile 20-inch tires to fit massive brakes. Whoa! It's a sporty vehicle. Of course, I don't know why you want to make a SUV sporty, considering, they had to compromise this vehicle so much. The Seminole could go off-road, because it had the suspension, it had the tires, it had the ground clearance. This thing, though, they had to fit low-profile sport tires on it, low-profile, lowered racing suspension, so it could handle well and not roll over. And that means, sure, it's faster on the track, but I mean, really, you can't do anything with it apart from go to the shopping center. And that's not even the worst offender, because that honor goes to this thing that I'm driving. This, believe it or not, is a Lampadati. The Lampadati is, stupid, really. All-wheel drive, over 600 horsepower in this vehicle from a supercar engine. It's a beast. 0 to 60 under 4 seconds, top speed of 198 miles an hour. It's very, very fast, and I gotta say, on SUVs it does look the best, but it's so impractical off-road. What's the point of it? And if you're looking around this track saying, well, what is this for? Since it is so fast and so sporty, I wanted to see just how fast and sporty it is. By racing it against its older brother, the Vaca, also from Lampadati. This mid-engine supercar has 500 horsepower, and I sent it around the bank track to record as fast of a time as possible. Fastest, highest top speed wins. Right. I'm a little scared about this. This seems like a bad idea. It's very bumpy. and this is very high riding. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it nice and easy on the first run. We need to brake about 145 miles an hour if we're gonna beat that Vaca. So let's go around here, nice and easy. Stay on the low side for now, and now get on the power. Okay. Two-wheeling it there, we're fine. We're hitting 100 miles an hour already. Jesus Christ. That's 175. Get on the way. Lift off, lift off, lift off a lot, lift off a lot. Shit. Okay. Let's try that again. The bumps and the suspension do not like each other in this vehicle. Okay, trying it again. Going around the banking. Don't mess it up this time. That's 160. Whoa, the back end's letting go. The back end is letting go. 160 down the power. 170. 175. 180 miles an hour. Go up the banking. Lift off. Oh, the bumps. The bumps. The bumps. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh. I hate that. I hate that very much. We're done here. You know what? We're done here. It may be faster than the Vaca, but Jesus Christ, it is the most terrifying thing I've ever done. But even worse, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how fast it is on a track or how good it is off-road, because that's not what an SUV is anymore. The SUV doesn't care about storage space or ground clearance or knobby off-road tires. All it cares about is being a status symbol. I mean, it can't even carry stuff in the back anymore because there's no room. They focus so much on the luxurious aspect, on the class status of these SUVs. And if you're gonna do that, why not just get an estate car? They're far better. And sure, they don't have the same pure presence of an SUV, but they do the exact same job. They comfortably seat 5, they have more storage space in the back, they're just as good off-road, they're just as good around a track, if not better. And really the only difference is the size, and you can get luxury versions. So it's literally just the size difference. So why does the world of SUVs? That may be one question that science will never answer, but at least we know what we're up against now.